All right, hello everybody. Welcome. My name is Jason Hanley, Vice President of Education and Visitor Engagement here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum. And it is a real pleasure to be here today with the one and only George Thorogood of George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Jason, a pleasure. Thank you.
Great to see you again, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
An honor.
We are here with part of our Artist in Residence program. We'd like to thank the Kulas Foundation for supporting it. We're actually in our 4th year of the program, where we've had over 11 musicians come in, young songwriters who are learning the craft, learning performance, music industry, music business, and really looking to take their career to the next level. And this particular part of the program has always been kind of near and dear and special to me, where we're able to get them to sit down with a legendary musician, a songwriter, someone in George's case who understands so much about the dynamics of song and bringing out the excitement of it to an audience. Today, we're going to be able to have each of our artists in residence sit down with George and talk about one of the songs they just wrote as part of the program this summer. We've got Ree Rosekrantz, who is going to be talking about one of her songs, Jareth Marlo, and Charity Ivana. And we're really excited that the three of them are going to be able to join us today. But George, before we get started, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about your career. Obviously an incredible songwriter, but I think about like your early records, the early George Thorogood and the Destroyer records. Man, you were just so steeped in that sort of roots American music, from the blues to early rock and roll, just going back to so many of the greats. You know, those early records of yours on Rounder Records, right? Really kind of getting at the roots of music. So I thought maybe you could tell us, like, what bit you in the beginning of your career? What was it that made you say, yeah, man, this blues and rock and roll, that's pretty good?
Well, when you say early rock and roll, at that time when I was getting into it, it wasn't that that early.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
now
right.
it's
Yeah,
early.
totally, right.
It was just commonplace with me because the people that I look up to, that was how they cut their teeth.
Yeah.
Everybody from Elvis Presley up to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Steppenwolf and Elvin Bishop and everybody else. That's who they listened to form their legacy. Yeah. So I just followed suit. I'm fond of saying, Jason, that you know Elvin Bishop and Keith Richards and Ry Cooder and people like that. They went to the right school and graduated with honors. I squeaked by with a C+, but at least I went to the right school.
Right. I'm even thinking, man, that first record in '77 with you guys, some of the tunes on there, Elmore James, Madison Blues, right? John Lee Hooker, One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer, which was the song I heard of yours that made me say, I got to check this guy, George Thorogood, out. Robert Johnson. I mean, you were really cutting back to like some of the blues classics and taking that stuff
Well, so was
on.
everybody else, like I say.
Yeah.
What I was doing, I didn't think was that unique.
Yeah.
It was, it wasn't passe, but it was a good 10, 12 years after the big boom came.
Yeah.
When every record you picked up, the Animals or Butterfield Blues Band or John Hammond, all of them had a Bo Diddley song on it, or a Muddy Waters song, or a Robert Johnson song. So I was just following suit, is what I was doing. I remember early on, before I even touched a guitar, I listened to, I heard Hank Williams for the first time. The only time I heard him before that was the cover version of the song that B.J. Thomas did. You know, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. He did it like a rhythm and blues ballad. Really great. But I didn't know anything about it. And I got a Hank Williams record, a double record, and at the same time, I don't even know if it was the same day or the next day, I got a Robert Johnson record. And I listened to Robert Johnson, and then I listened to Hank Williams. And remember, I barely touched a guitar at the time. I didn't dare. This was the era of Hendrix and Jeff Beck and, you know, all these people, you know, so I said, forget about the guitar. But when I listened to Hank Williams and Robert Johnson, I couldn't decide which artist was greater. I couldn't make up my mind. I knew nothing about country and western music. I knew little about the blues. I had a Howlin' Wolf record. I had a Bo Diddley record. But when I listened to those two people, I can't figure out which one's greater. And to this day, they are the epitome of what music is. They're the foundation of everything, those two artists.
It's funny, now hearing you say that, I can totally picture your career fitting somewhere in between those, right? Pulling on both of those.
And I don't look at it as a, you know, an oldies thing, or as people will say, well, George is an old fogey. He likes the old stuff. I say, no, I like brilliant stuff. If you like Mozart or Beethoven, or you like the movie On the Waterfront, or Casablanca, does that mean you just like oldies? No, you like something that's brilliant, that lasts forever.
Yeah. So what was it like when you started to, like, you know, your version, one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer really goes out there? You take that and you stretch it out, you pull it in all different ways. There had to be a level of confidence with you to take a song like that and say, I'm going to make it my own, or I'm going to find a place for it to be a George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Well, there's two stories behind that song. First of all, I already had a version of it of John Lee Hooker playing it live at the Cafe A Go-Go in 1966, backed up by the Muddy Waters Band. So I was aware of the song.
Yeah.
And then I went to see him play live. And at that time, Jason, the blues was very in vogue then. It was an underground thing. But people went to see these great blues artists like Mississippi Fred McDowell and Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and John Lee Hooker. And when you went into the places to play, to see them, you could hear a pin drop. It was like being in a temple.
Wow.
When I went to see John Lee Hooker, the dance floor was packed. It's not done. It's not done. You don't get up and dance to the blues. You dance on bandstand. You don't dance to the blues.
Right.
But the Hooker, the dance floor was packed.
That got everybody up.
And 90% of the people on the dance floor were women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the song
just
he played
connected.
in both sets that got these women up on the dance floor and kept them up there was one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. And I said, if I ever form a band, that's the first song I'm going to learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because it's got that rhythm that women get into.
Yeah.
Later when we did it, it went over pretty good.
Yeah.
Then we were in Boston, and we were sitting at the bar watching the World Series. About 20, 25 people in the club. So it was 5 minutes before we were supposed to go on. I go over to the bandstand, and I pick up the guitar, and I get on the mic, and by myself, I start talking about the song House Rent Blues by John Lee Hooker.
Yeah.
You know, I want to tell you a story about the House Rent Blues, and I'm just doing this. And I look at the bar, and people are not watching the World Series.
They turn around.
They're going like this, you see. And just then I started rapping my butt off and saying, so I got on the street, I stopped in Bun Ratty's, that's where I was playing, Bun Ratty's, and I go to the bar, and exact time our bass player and drummer got up on the stage.
Whoa.
I didn't ask him to, and I went to the bartender and said, I want one bourbon, one scotch. Pop! And they went into it,
the hit,
and the bar emptied, and the dance floor got packed.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's when I took one section purely by accident.
Yeah.
Just freak luck. But I knew that song had the rhythm.
Yeah.
I knew it was a cut outside of the circle of the blues.
Yeah.
Which I always dug about John Lee Hooker.
Totally, right?
You know,
Yeah.
he had that rhythm.
Yeah.
A lot of ladies out there are bored with solos. They want that rhythm.
Right.
Some of the greatest songs you ever hear have no solos in. The greatest rock and roll song of all time is Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Yeah, right.
There's no solo in it.
solo.
It doesn't need one.
Yeah.
It's got that rhythm.
Yeah,
You
that's
see what
right.
I'm saying? Rockin' Me Baby.
That's the rhythm and the blues. You got to get them together, right? Get
true,
everybody
but
up.
in all musics,
Yeah.
it's the rhythm that's the passion.
Yeah.
The solo sometimes is nice, but it's something just to lengthen the song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Coming from a guy who knows how to solo pretty well, too, right?
I do okay. I do okay. But if it was up to me, I said, you know, I've talked to people, and I've talked to more than one women about that song, Bourbon, Scotch, and Beer, and a couple others. I said, you like that song, Bourbon, Scotch, and Beer? And they'd say, yeah, that rhythm.
Yeah.
And then one lady said, the low notes.
Right.
I said, okay,
kind of
bingo.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's not just the women getting up there.
You
Because I
asked
was
me
getting
about
up.
the song.
I know. I was getting up there and dancing to that too.
You asked
man.
me for the history of that as far as I go.
Yeah. Now, when you suddenly start coming out of that, and it's really when you get over to EMI in the 80s for me, because you had some songs that you were writing on the early records, but man, you really hit a stride there with, you know, Bad to the Bone, I Drink Alone, which is one of my favorite of yours, George. Awesome. Born to Be Bad. It felt to me as a fan of yours, you had taken all this into yourself, and now we're figuring out a way to make it your own and bring it back out. What was that period like for you when you were on EMI and suddenly you started having hits of all your own songs that you're writing?
Well, they were very encouraging with that.
Yeah.
You know, to get me to do that. And I was at a period in my life which was very fortunate, where, you know, as Bob Dylan once said, there are things in your at time in your life. Sometimes it happens, and writers are like that, where the songs are just falling out of you, like dandruff. It just keeps flowing and flowing.
Right.
And this, not that my songs are on the level of some of these people, but that was what was happening to me.
Yeah.
Every other day there would be something coming out of me. And I remember going to do a reading for a movie called Bachelor Party. I started Tom Hanks' career, so I can take credit for that. I passed on it, and they took him.
Right,
So,
right.
But the reason that happened was I don't think they would have put me in a movie. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah.
But when I was sitting in the cattle call,
Yeah.
there was a young woman there who was talking, and her friend walked in, and she said, "Hey, this guy's George Thorogood." Now, we had a song at that time called "Bad to the Bone," and she turned to this friend of hers, this guy, and said, "Oh yeah, it's George Thorogood. You know, Born to Be Bad." The interview was over. I was out of there.
Right.
You know,
You were
see,
done.
sometimes you hear things from people
Yeah.
that put
And
an
that
idea,
triggers an
exactly,
idea for
that
you,
you don't come
yeah.
up with yourself.
Yeah.
And I said, She got the title wrong,
Right.
but because she said that,
It was the right inspiration.
Exactly,
That it
at
needed
that
to be
point, so-
another song. Right.
my movie career was beginning and over at the same day.
Right. But you got a good song out of it, right?
Well,
A great song,
well,
actually.
that's the important thing.
Yeah. So how, when you're trying to write your own tunes, how do you go about doing that? What's the process? Is it just you're fooling around, seeing what sticks? Is it an idea of an inspiration? How do you kind of find your way into songwriting, into something like that?
You know, I'm the kind of person, whether I write songs or not, the song comes to me. It finds me. I don't find it. Now, there are certain people that are just brilliant professional songwriters,
Yeah.
Carole King,
Yeah.
Paul
One of the
McCartney,
greatest, yeah.
that can sit down and say, write me a song,
Yeah, I'm
and they
gonna
can do it.
make it a craft
Okay,
and
and they
sit
can do
down,
it.
yeah.
They got the craft. If I sat down and they said, write me a song, I could never do it. But if I just sat there minding my own business, something will just drift into me. Or I'll see I was watching a movie, and the movie starred Marlon Brando, Academy Award winner, with Eva Marie Saint, Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here watching the movie alone, as usual. And he says to her, she's never had a beer. And he says, come on, come on.
That's a good Brando.
He says, come on, have a drink. And she goes, oh, I don't know. And he goes, oh, come on. I got the rest of my life to drink alone.
And that was the line that
Bingo.
into I Drink Alone. Yeah. Right.
Now, if you think about it, and people have put the knock on me saying, well, this is an alcoholic thing. And I said, well, really, the theme of it is really that in your course of your lifetime, most of the things you do alone. You take a shower alone. You watch a movie alone. You drive in the car alone. It could have been, I watch television alone.
Yeah.
I drive alone.
Right.
I walk alone. I fly alone. So it was just quite natural that I put that in there.
Yeah.
And thought, you know, there's a lot of alcohol beverages that have names of people.
Yeah. Right.
You know, a lot of them,
Yeah.
you know. And I said, well, if you could throw those in there.
Yeah, and
you know,
play on that idea of-
Don't you have any company when you drink? And I said, sure, I'm with my pal Jack Daniels.
Right.
So it was just a very quick process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
I thank Marlon Brando and
Yeah,
you
for
know,
the film,
and Bug
right.
Schulberg,
Right.
you know, and Ilya Kazan for that.
Yeah. Now, I noticed a lot of early on, you wrote a lot on your own, but on the album, The Hard Stuff from 2006, another great album, Tom Hambridge produced that. And you co-wrote some songs with him too. Was that a new process?
Jim
for you?
Gaines produced it.
Oh, sorry, Jim produced it. Right. But you co-wrote some songs with Tom on that album, right?
No, he co-wrote songs with me.
Of course. That
course.
makes sense. What was that like for you, that process of co-writing with somebody?
Well, it was generally he, you know, like anybody else. See, they're fooling with a song, and then someone else steps in and takes you over into the end zone. so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
You know, or like a relief pitcher coming in, it takes you. And it worked that way with both of us.
Okay.
He had
right.
a song that wasn't quite completed, so I
You
stepped
were
in
able to-
and
yeah.
said, this is what it needs.
Yeah.
And then I had a song that I was working on, and he stepped in and said,
Yeah.
well, this is what it needs to get you the
That
touchdown.
last step. Yeah, right, right. When you're writing, like you
That's
said,
how
then-
McCartney and Lennon wrote, you know.
Sure, yeah, and they often finished each other's songs. and
Exactly.
that, yeah. Do you ever, when you're writing or recording, are you thinking about the audience? Are you thinking about the end point that someday you got to get up and play this, or is it just you're writing for the song itself?
You know, the only person I ever heard say this in print that has the same goal and attitude as me that I know of, that I read, was John Fogerty. When he works on a song, he sees the end result
Yeah.
before anything. And I do that too.
Do you? Yeah.
I see the end result when I start into it. I see people on a dance floor dancing to it.
Yeah.
It goes step by step. First it is, can you get it? Can the band play it?
Right.
Can the band play it good?
Yeah.
Can the record company dig it? Can it get on the radio? Will radio like it? See, and then
Yeah.
but he was the only one I ever heard say that.
Talk about
He
that.
looks at the final thing.
Yeah.
He was making the cake and sees it in its completion at the end. So that was pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
good company.
Yeah, not bad, right? Fogerty, I would take that too. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting, right? Because I think that it gives you a sense, particularly for someone like yourself who's just such an amazing live performer. I feel like, for me as a fan of yours, it seems like, man, those songs had to start waiting for the audience, you know? They
Well,
had to
everything
be there.
you do is for the audience. I mean,
Yeah.
we have always been audience minded. Every
Yeah.
time we'd put a song together, even before records, would say, because we did have a following in Philadelphia
Yeah.
and the Delaware Valley.
Yep.
And when we did a new song, we say,
Delaware Destroyers originally, right? Yeah.
no, but someone added that.
Is that
later.
right?
Yeah, some
That's
guy-
how I saw it listed in the early
yeah,
days.
I know, but we were playing at a wedding reception. There was a guy who was a classmate of mine, and he really liked us, and he kept repeating, "The Delaware Destroyers, I'll be right back." And we were not. And that's how I just it got
It
in there,
stuck,
and I
right.
said, "Well, that's not gonna fit. That's not gonna fit on the marquee." You know. But we had always had in mind when we were putting together a new tune, will our fans like this song?
Yeah.
Will they go for? And that's, you know, if you owned a restaurant and you had certain things, you want to put something new on the menu, you think, will our customers go for it?
Yeah, right.
Not to open up more customers, but to please the ones you already have.
Yeah, to kind of
And that's how the Destroyers operate. So people go up and say, do you like this song? I go, if the fans like it, yes.
right.
If they dig it, I dig it.
Yeah. All right. Well, George, thank you so much, man, for talking about songwriting and for talking about your music. Like I said, just your songs have brought so much joy to myself and my family over the years.
Thank you.
So we're going to get into it now and bring some of these great young songwriters in here, and we can take a listen to some of their music and
Okay.
have you offer some advice to them. All right.
Hi, my name is Charity Ivana, and this song is called Charity. I found myself again. It's been so long, girl, where you been? It's good to see your face. Don't let them make you feel erased or pushed away. I want you to stay. Never go away. I need you here with me. Can't do this thing when You are beautiful inside and out. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at yourself, you are beautiful. Don't worry, 'cause you are beautiful. Inside and out. Look at yourself, you are beautiful. Don't worry, 'cause you are beautiful. Inside and out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you ever consider rethinking the title of that song and just calling it Beautiful?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Didn't grab you?
No, I really was thinking about myself in the moment. So, and charity means love. So that's kind of what the inspiration behind it. Just so every time you're saying charity, you're speaking love into the universe. And that's kind of what the song is saying too. Like, you know, you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're everything, you're love. So
Then how about charity is beautiful?
correct.
Because it
That would
is.
work
If you're
too,
giving
yeah.
to charity, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
And then you're saying the word charity means love.
right.
So you're covering two dogs barking at the same time. That's what came into my mind when I was listening to it. I thought that was the theme of it.
Yeah.
That you were not only having confidence in your own inner self,
Yeah.
which takes a lot of nerve. I would never be able to do that. That takes a lot of
Yeah,
nerve.
I literally cried writing the whole song.
What's that?
I cried writing the whole song.
Well, that's what you want. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're going to cry over it, then others will too.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes they can cry out of happiness.
Right.
You know, it can do that too. You know, I think what you're driving home is the idea that give yourself a chance, give the world a chance. Then inside there's beauty.
Correct.
It's not always outside. Is that what your kind of your
Yeah,
deal?
it was. When I wrote the song, I was coming from a depressing season in my life and just feeling like I wasn't enough. And so something just came over me to just write this song for myself. And then I realized, you know, I just kind of thought like women always feel like this, or not just women, but I was talking about me and women in the song, but we always feel like we're not enough and we're not doing enough, we're not worthy, and the world will tell you that, oh, you're not good enough. So I just wanted to write something to uplift
Positive.
me.
Something positive.
Yeah, something positive, and to uplift me when I have trying times, and when others are having trying times.
Because most people in life, when you go through life, have harder times than they have really good times.
Right.
If you really think about life
Yeah.
in general, in long times, you're going to go through some hard times.
Yeah.
And those things, unfortunately, are a lot more often than some of the joy you get. In
Yeah.
other words, something that all human beings experience that they can't get away from is pain. And to have something like that you can go to
Yeah.
and say, this can ease the pain. My easing of pain came out of a bottle of Budweiser. That's the wrong way to go. You went the right way. You went the right way.
Thank
Only thing
you.
I can tell you is it was just the right length. I would just consolidate it just a little more to strike the theme home.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
I feel you on
Because
that.
I think that's where you're coming from.
Right. As an artist, what I would like my audience to take from me is like that they are loved, and as of right now and forever, obviously, but they are loved. And I just wonder if when you started out to now, is it the same inspiration for you, for your audience? Like, how do you feel? What do you want them to take from you every time you perform? Is it the same when you first started
No,
out?
I wanted them to love me.
Right. Right.
Okay, you're coming from a different angle. You see, which is the right angle, you know, to let them know you are loved,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's taking a stand,
Yeah.
and that's your stand.
Yeah.
That's what I feel
I just
from
want to
it.
be a light. I feel like I write all type of music, but I do want to be a light to the world, and that's what my music reflects. And I want my audience to take that away from me. So,
Well, you got my attention.
well, good. Thank
And
you.
whatever you do, just call the title of the album "Beautiful," and make sure you get that face on the album cover.
Thank you. I will. I will. It better be.
Hi, my name's Ree Rosecrans, and this is Replay.
Well, in my humble opinion and in my limited experience, a title's perfect.
Thank you.
You don't need another title.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
How many times do you think every person in life does a replay with their soul?
Probably so many.
Every day. All of us do, good and bad.
Absolutely.
So you're striking pay dirt there.
Thank you.
And also another thing I was checking out is something I've never had the nerve to do is that you're going in deep to tell the truth about your emotions and your feelings.
Right.
And some people are comfortable with that. And even if you're not comfortable with it, but you have the talent to do it, you know, that gives other people hope. And hope is a great thing.
One thing I really pride myself on with my lyrics is I try to be as open as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to hide behind anything. Especially I've struggled with mental health for honestly since a little bit before COVID, but mainly during COVID, which is when I wrote Replay. And I didn't want to be that person that is actually struggling but tries to cover it up and write a happy song. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, it's easier to write how I'm feeling. And I know there's other people out there that feel the exact same. And for them, they're looking for an outlet. And it may just be in a song that they can sing along to and say, oh, I relate to that.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I don't know much about your background, but your parents, people close to you, usually always say, you can't go wrong with being yourself.
Right.
And that's what you're doing with your thing. I do that with certain songs, but I don't go that deep because my stuff, I keep to myself. You know, I don't have the nerve to share pain, which everybody goes through.
Right.
Nobody can escape it. And you're saying the good and the bad. And in my case, the good, bad, and the ugly. So and the things that I share about, yes, it's this, it's that I'm sharing with the audience. But for myself, I go, well, what do you think down deep inside? I said, I'd rather not talk about that. I'm just not made that way. But look how far Dylan went with telling the truth about other things and himself. He had nerve.
Right.
He had courage.
Exactly.
Look how far McCartney went with Yesterday, the death of his mother. I mean, that takes a lot of courage, not just talent to put it together. And when you did this, I said, this girl's opening up to us. And the title Replay is what we all do. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What happened that was great that I can use today? Well, this is what I got from it, you know, and I'm just a regular guy. So, well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just recently played with a band for the first time. Normally I've just been doing acoustic shows and here and there, but how do you find people that you really mesh with for a band, if that makes sense?
Sometimes they find you. Do you know how long the Beatles took to get a drummer?
Off the top of my head, no.
A long time. It's not an easy thing to do, okay? I don't mean to discourage you, but if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. There'll be someone who will connect with you, or you'll connect with them. Just to give you a little history, the person that plays drums with us didn't know a lick about drums, but I needed a drummer. But we connected. We connected spiritually. We connected this. And I said, give him some time, he'll get the chops. And that was more important to me than if he had gone to the School of Berkeley of Music. See what I mean? The right person will come along at the right time, and it'll mesh. So you keep at it, and someone will appear, if that's what you want, if that's what you're after, if you're comfortable playing alone or both, you know, someone will come along and hear something and go, that put a spark in me. It could be someone that plays the xylophone or could play the triangle. That doesn't matter. It's someone who connects with you and what you're about.
Okay.
So that'll have a lot of people out there. The only way it won't happen is if you quit.
Right.
If you don't quit, you know, I used to say, I said, there's only one guarantee I have that I will never be successful, and that's if I quit. There's no guarantee I'll be successful, but there's one guarantee I won't be, is if I quit. So I don't think there's any quit in you.
I hope not.
You had guts enough to get all those tattoos. I never did.
It's therapy for me.
Oh, there you go.
Tattoo
There you go.
therapy.
Hey, listen, you might be in an elevator and someone would say, hey, man, I love your tattoos. I play piano.
Perfect.
You never know.
Perfect. Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, my name is Jareth Marlo, and I'm going to be singing a song I wrote called Too Scared. Empty conversations. We talk to fill the space. Don't know if I can say it. I know we're not the same. I say congratulations. Push away my pain. I find my mind still racing. I hope I'm not the same. Days go by without you and I. Days go by without us. I'm too scared to say what's on my mind. And it's not fair to say I'm left behind. 'Cause I'm the one who left you there that night. Now I can only read between the lines. I keep my thoughts to myself, although I'll keep on believing. I push away my own health, can't fight the sickly feeling. Days go by without you and I. Days go by without us. And I'm too scared to say what's on my mind. It's not fair to say I'm left behind. 'Cause I'm the one who left you there that night. Now I can only read between the lines.
That's how you young people got guts. That's why I'm so encouraged by the youth of today that, first of all people, you got a title there that everybody don't want to admit it, that they're scared once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Usually scared a lot.
Yeah.
Most people are too scared to say what's on their mind. And to me, that's a good thing to say to people, because they'll go, yeah, that's me. Yeah, too scared to say my mind. All I would do for you is this. End the song with the title. I'm still too scared to speak my mind. Bang.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Because you hit it. You hit what most people feel. Everybody is afraid to be themselves. Everybody's too scared to speak, and look how short life is. How many times have you said, and you're a young man, but you will get this, you go through life and you say, man, I wish I had said that. I wish I was with them when that bully stuck, I wish I had stood up to him. Or something brilliant came to your mind and said, I didn't have the courage to speak, to come out and say it. So everybody can relate to that. So you hit a universal nerve. Good for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So one of the things when I'm writing that I think I struggle with most is writing a bridge and
like kind of moving away somehow in the story, so that way when you come back to the end of it, like it's got some new perspective to it. Do you have any advice for that?
No, because that is an excellent way to start. Write the bridge first, and then the other lyrics will take care of themselves. If you write the bridge first, the bridge to the song was yesterday. So I write the bridge first.
Okay.
I drink alone and then work around it.
Okay.
So when you have that, that's the hook. That's your hook. And if you start with that, that's a great place to start, because that then the rest will take care of itself, I'm sure. You know, so yeah, because that's the song. That's the title and the theme you want to hit on. And I noticed that you didn't hit on it too much.
Okay.
Just enough to say, hey, look, man, I'm scared just like you are, just like the next guy or next girl or next person. So when you said that, that really went through my brain. I said, well, this kid's sharp. He's writing the hook first.
Thank you.
So not all songs are like that, but if that's the theme you want to get, putting the hook in at first, like you say, the chorus is a great way to start.
Okay.
Right.
And then
Can you teach me something? Show me a little. I could use a song, you know.
I could try. You're obviously like a super prolific performer, and I've only been performing for about
A few years.
less
Just
than-
stop
less-
right there, okay? A lot of years.
I've been performing for like less than a year, and how do you ever deal with like going up to it, just like being nervous? Like, well, obviously everybody gets nervous, but even like for the recording of that video, I'm very confident in what I can do, but I am always overthinking and like stressful about like, is this vocal run gonna work?
You can still be nervous and not lose your confidence. That's the key. That's the number one word with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Performing, writing, you got to have that first. Confidence in yourself. And you can always be nervous about it or a little bit, you know, whatever. But if you got that confidence, it'll never leave you. And confidence will conquer everything. You've been doing it for a year, and I've been doing it for a while. And every now and then I go, I don't know. And then I go, hey, man, I'm bad. You know, and that takes over.
Yeah.
You see, so if you got that, you've got the playing field centered. If that means anything. Okay.
Would you say that you found a way to
You got that kind of confidence with the women too? I mean, you do all right over there?
based on this song?
You're
I
working on
don't know.
that, right? We all are.
Would you say you found a good way to navigate confidence with humility, and how to like keep from like driving people away and like becoming relatable while still being confident?
Sure, I do. I have a great way of balancing confidence with humility. All I do is put on a movie with Jimi Hendrix or James Brown or Hank Williams, and you know, okay, then I don't lose track of humility.
Okay, a little bit of self-deprecation.
Exactly.
I like it. I love it.
That helps.
Big fan.
All right, well, there we go. George, thank you so much, my man. What a fantastic day having you here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Sharing your, expertise with all these up-and-coming songwriters. It is inspiring, right? Think about the next generation of musicians who are going to take that same inspiration you had and shared with so many of us and bring it out to whole new audiences. And once again, we'd like to thank the Kulas Foundation for their fantastic support of this program. If you are an inspiring songwriter, musician, performer out there, and you want to be part of our Artist in Residence program, the applications will be opening up soon on rockhall.com, and you can go there, sign up and register, send us some samples of your music. We'd love to have you in the program in the future. And once again, George, thank you very much, man. Keep on rocking out there.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.